Hello, this is Godel. Welcome back to the Islands of Insight static puzzle series. As you can see here, I've made a quick little bit of wardrobe changes to my character, and from here we're going to continue today's plan of looking at the map. um, Today we're going to be doing cross the streams in matters of size, and then we're going to do the off by one by two colors and the what are they called? The other static puzzles for the autumn falls. There's a total of 6 we're going to be going. In fact, here, let me actually just tab open to the map. I did really quickly just generate it just so. I will cut as soon as I get over there. See you in a second. It is a little bit nicer seeing my character flying here in his glory without the default clothing on. Must admit. Probably should have changed the clothes a little bit earlier, but no worries. It doesn't affect gameplay in any way. Anyways, I'm almost here at this puzzle, so I will see you again in 1 second once I get over there. And here we are coming up to the enclave over here. So where was this logic grid now? Up here? Ah. Yeah, okay. So I believe this is for a mystery, which we'll do later. So hold on that one. Anyways, while we're over here, we're gonna... I guess we'll get started with the star puzzles on this side of the map. Let me grab this lore. You might have seen on that map before that the lore is also shown on that map as puzzles. We're not going to be worried too much about collecting the lore. That'll be more for the 100% save file. So anyways, here underneath this landmass, I'll show you where it is on the map as well. There are these 3 puzzles on top of this building. A 1-star, 2-star, and a 4-star. So we're going to get cracking on these. This is going to be a... This is going to be a thing. Let's do it. So all of the puzzles have this rule set in common, I think? Yeah, so connect all light and dark, and then no 2x2s of either color, so... Let me get up here to this one. Hello? They all have that same rule set, right? Yes. Okay. So let's just go from easiest to hardest and see how we do. Alright. So lemmas for connect all dark and light cells and no squares. First of all, we need to remember that there is no checkerboards allowed, and when we have a cell along the border, that cell basically has to extend all the way along the entire border from where it starts to where the other color ends. So for example, we are going to need to have a light cell here. Because if we have a dark cell here, we're going to also need a dark cell here as well. Because a light cell wouldn't be able to get that, and we would need to cut off that 2x2. But because now we know there's a light cell along this border here, and it's going to need to come out, so pull it out here, we know that from this point to this point, and then from this point to this point, there cannot be any light cells. So now we can start the puzzle off officially with that helping us get started here. And I'm just gonna do all of the moves that are immediately sticking out to me. Okay, we now see there's a light cell here. Connect this up. This one here, we still don't know if there's going to be a light or dark. It's going to depend what happens over here, really. Alright. And then check what this is looking like. Let's see. This light section is going to need to come in a little bit further, but we're not sure how yet exactly. Let's see if we can deduce any things that will cause an issue. So if we put a dark cell here, we're going to need to put a light cell here, but that would make a checkerboard. So make this be light. Now we can put dark, dark, light, light, dark, 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 light, 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 and light. Okay, just finding that one little trick there helped us solve the whole thing. Get a perfect solve bonus for that one. Very nice. Alright, okay. This one is now with dominoes. Great. So the lemma is still applied to dominoes, but dominoes are gonna be substantially more tricky to deal with. Geez. Let me see here. I might need some time to think on this one, so I'll probably be pausing in and out as I figure out what to do. It's somewhere around 2 to 4 star difficulty. The puzzles do get a little bit too much for me to figure out, so sometimes I need to use the foresights. I try not to use them. Like the last puzzle, we solved it pretty quickly without them. So we'll see how we go on this one. But yeah, let me think about this for a bit. So kind of first thought I'm seeing here. Both of these cannot be the same color, because if they're both dark, then it's going to make a square. If they're both light, it's going to make a square, and this is going to make a square here too. So one of them must be dark and one of them must be light. So we're going to have one of our border boundaries of light and darkness be this line right here. Is there anywhere else we can kind of determine where there might be a border boundary? Looks like right here, actually, because if we look here, again, we have kind of this, this sandwich of Oreos. If we have this color be dark, then this color cannot be dark as well. So these two colors have to be different, and then these two colors have to be different. Therefore, the grid either needs to be like, from here, light, do a whole lap here, all the way around with light cells, or the inverse. And then whatever this section is in here will be the opposite. So let me think about that for a minute. I'm going to kind of trace this around the edge and see if that forces anything weird. Okay, so I looked at this for a little bit. I did doodle on this a little bit because it's hard to visualize so many tiles at once. But what I found is that if we start this as dark, we're going to have a light cell here. We're going to have to prevent a checkerboard, fill this in to prevent a 2x2, prevent a checkerboard, and now we're stuck with this cell up here that we can't put a light cell or a dark cell into. So we know that this has to be this has to be the opposite color of that, and then this has to be the same as this one, and this has to be the opposite of that. So we can now trace our border in dominoes. And we can start filling in all of our 2x2 blocking positions. Prevent a checkerboard, 2x2, pull this out, 2x2, etc. 2x2. There we go. If only I had been able to visualize so many tiles on there at the same time, and maybe there was actually a easier way to start on this puzzle. If there is, let me know. Always happy to learn how to solve these better. Uh-oh. There's 4 puzzles here, not 3. Oh, man. There's not one down here, is there? There's a random matchbox down here, but okay. Yeah, okay. I miscounted the puzzles in here. I guess we're gonna be doing 2 more. And here comes the pain with the 4-star difficulty puzzle. So, good luck me. Let's see where we get started on this one. This one is gonna be substantially more tricky here because we do not have a we don't have a kind of a pre-made border going on here. We can look at this and see that we can't put a light cell here because then we'd have to fill these in with light cells. So there has to be a dark cell and it has to come out with those. What else? Could we put a light cell here? This could then be dark, dark. If we put dark, this would have to be light, dark. So this has to be dark regardless of what this one is. Okay. Geez. Is this cell here ever dark? If that's light, then that would be dark. That would be dark. Yeah, that one can be dark. This one's gonna take a little bit more thinking to get figured out here. I'll be right back. Okay, well, I've been looking at this for a little while. I was not spotting any, like, immediate way to break into this puzzle, so I started, like, kind of experimenting with borders. What I found is that if I have a light cell that starts anywhere from here or left of here, so from this cell to this cell, what happens is that we have to complete the border like that, prevent this, what's it called, 2 by 2, prevent a, what's that called? Prevent a, checkerboard there. And then the dark cell has to come through here, and what that causes is that this gets isolated over here. So we know that, at minimum, there has to be a dark cell all the way over here, which means that this has to come through here. And in fact, can we apply that same logic to the ref going a little bit further? So that ends up dark, light. Yeah, that's a little different because now the dark can come through here, so I'm not gonna go with that just yet, but we do know that this, what we have so far, is good so far, air quotes. So yeah, now that we have this sorted out, let's figure out what else we need to do with this. How else we need to get this around. I'm thinking about, what if I have a dark border starting over here? I'll kind of, instead of doing it off camera, I'll kind of walk you through my process here. So if we have a dark border starting over there, we have to do something like this. Whoops, that was a misclick. And it's looking okay so far until we get to... Is this going to be problematic somewhere? Let's see. This has to go either left or right here. Probably, let's do something like this. Nope, that's going to make a checkerboard. This, then? That also makes a checkerboard. So, this causes an issue over here in some manner. Not really... that one's a little bit harder to quantify, because I'm not exactly sure what caused that issue here. If we just had this causing the issue? Like, where did that issue originate exactly? Because we get the checkerboard like that. Yeah, let me back up a little bit. Let me think about this a little more. And I'll stay on camera here while I'm thinking about it. We do know one of these has to be dark. I'm almost thinking, like, let me try just seeing what this border looks like when we finish, when we do that same border we had semi-made before. This could very well be the solution, except, yeah, it's not, so... I mean, that doesn't really give us any much more information, except that that is now a dark cell. If we don't know where this is connecting, it's not really going to help us. We could just check it again, and we're just probably going to find it's still a invalid solution. Not necessarily, but really need to think about how these white cells are going to connect in here, especially like down here is pretty relevant, because if we have light here, this is going to be dark, light, dark, light, dark, dark, dark. But then from there, we can't really figure anything else, because the dark could still come from up here. This would have to go like this at minimum, right? Dark, light, dark, light, dark, dark, light, and yeah, we have an issue here where we're creating another checkerboard. It seems that somewhere between this streak of moves over here, placing a wall of dark cells creates a checkerboard. So we know that I don't think we can have a light, any dark cells over here. Let's see what happens if we just assume this is a dark cell. So dark through here, light, light, dark, dark, light, 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 dark. This light either needs to go like this, which makes a checkerboard, or it needs to go like this, which makes a checkerboard. So having a dark cell over here causes issues. So this has to be light, and fill that in now. Okay, so getting a little bit of progress there. Maybe seeing what the actual needed solution here might be a little bit beyond my pay grade. Can't have a dark cell here. Okay. So now we have a new puzzle state we've reached here. Can we do the dark cells here with these? Or is this just the same issue as before? The light has to come up through there, or down through here. Yep. Still an issue. I wish I was understanding where along here that issue is originating. Like, is it just this region right here that causes that? For example. But I know it's not that one, because I just checked that one. So, we have a couple more moves there. I think that might just give us enough puzzle here information to solve the puzzle. Yeah, we now have a light cell here, so that's going to be it for that puzzle. At least you get to see the solution, and if you want, I mean, nobody says you can't just, you know, take that solution and just copy it for yourself, you know what I mean? Let's do this puzzle up top. So this is a significantly larger puzzle. It's still a 4-star puzzle, but I expect it to be substantially easier, just because it's so much larger. So we are already starting with a huge border given information over there. So let us draw out our border as much as that has allowed us to so far. And then do the light border as well. I just ruined the perfect puzzle bonus by being clumsy at drawing lines. Good job, mate. Okay, anything else we can immediately do in here? We're gonna have to have some light cells in here, so this is gonna have to come out like that. Alright. Let's use our control highlighting to kind of give us an idea of where these light cells are trapped over here. Some dark cells over there that need to come out. More 2x2s I need to finish. This one's gonna have to get out of here in some manner. Alright, have to have at least a light cell in here. These are going to be opposites. If this is light, those are dark, and vice versa. We can't put a dark cell here. That would trap a light cell. Alright, this light is making its way out of here. Whoop. Another misclick. A misclick jump scared me. Alright. This has to come out this way. Alright. Is there anywhere where we would trap a dark piece? Let's look for, like, piece traps. Where if we were to place a piece, it would basically encase a dark or a light piece in there. Well, one of these we know has to be dark, one of them has to be light. Only making progress really slowly here, and it's not really big progress either, so... Gonna take a minute here to look at this, and I will just come back once I see a couple more moves to do. I did ask for a foresight over here, so what it taught me is that if we put a light cell here, we're gonna end up in trouble. So this has to be a dark cell, and that's kind of all the foresight really taught us. So now, how much progress that's actually gonna get us? Here, let's take a look here and find out. Getting a few squares over here filled in because of that. That seems to be about it. So yeah, helped fill out this corner a little bit, but we are still trying to figure out the situation here as far as where they should connect and whatnot. So let me see. I may use this as a puzzle where we can use a little bit more foresight. Let's give another foresight a go. So it's telling us to take a look at this cell. What does this cell tell us? Well, if we put a dark cell here, if we put a dark cell here, we're going to block this over here with a light cell. So then the dark cell needs to go through here. But if we put a light cell... Let me just give it a look here. Okay, if we put a light cell, we end up with a bad situation over here. So this has to be a dark cell. It gives us a little bit more info here to work with. This has to come out of here now. Misc looking like crazy. Gave us quite a lot of info, actually. Okay. So this is interesting here. We now see where these choke points are going to be between connecting the light cells from this side to the light cells on this side. So it's going to be up here. Dark, light, and then dark to block this last 2x2. Yeah, that one is just a toughie. When it gets to certain levels, I'm just like, I'm not seeing it. But the foresight does let you kind of logic out some ideas there as far as, have you considered this square before? And you're like, no. All right. Our next place we want to go, we're right here next to the off by 1 pillar. So let's do this off by 1 pillar. So this is now, what is this called? Off by 1 with 2 colors. All right, so now we have both light and dark cells are colored here. So I'm gonna immediately misclick. So we know that 4s can be 3s and 5s. We know 5s can be 4s and 6s, but they cannot be a 5. So we know this is going to have to be a 4. This 4 will have to be a 5. This 4 will have to be a 3, and this 3 will have to be a 4. Okay, cool. Zeros we always know are 1s. Then let's see what we're dealing with here. This 7 is going to be 6 or 8. This 7 is also going to be 6 or 8. Pull this 8 out, which is going to be 7 or 9. Okay, so that has room to become a 6. And that's going to have to become a 6 because it has no room left. This is now a 9, and that must be a 6. Right, this one is a 2. The 2 must be a 3. The 3 must be a 4. The 4 and 6 must be 5, and this must be a 3. Why was the third one way easier than the second one? Jeez. Alright. These two belong to the 4, so we cannot connect that. This 2 is going to have to be a 3, so we're going to box that in there. And then this 4 will be a 5. Great misclick. Right, this one can't come up here. Or... yeah, it can't come up here either. it's going to be a 4. Do we want this 4 as a 3? We don't know yet. I think we could do... Yeah, we can do this. Oh, this is tricky here. This 5 and 3 both could be a 4, in which case we could connect them. In fact, it's going to need to connect to one of these 5s. So we know this is going to have to be a light cell then, because there's going to be a closed group here or here that we need to cover. But it's going to be this one, so that the 2 doesn't become an issue over here. Oh, or is it? Have I made a mistake? Because we can't put another one over here. Yeah, this looks wrong. Where did I mess up? That's correct. This has to come here or here, so that's going to be like that. This 2 cannot connect to this 4, because then it would be a 4. Oh, you know what? There's another situation here I'm not considering. So this 3 can just be a 2 by itself, like that. And in fact, that's what we're going to go with. But let's figure out the logic so that we're not just, like, pulling that out of thin air. Let's see where else, if we have any other places we can do moves from. So this 2 would have to be a 3 or a 1. If we make it a 1, then we turn this into a 5. So this has to be a 3, like so. There we go. This is more satisfying. So we're not going to be able to make a 5 with that. We now need a 6. Tricky one for a 4-pipper. If we put a light cell here... I was gonna say it causes an issue. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Can this 5 get to a 4 without the 3? Yes, but then it blocks in the 3. Can it get to a 6 without the without hitting the 3? No. So it has to connect to that. This 4 could connect to this, but then it's just gonna block that in, so it can't actually. So there we go. That's gonna be a 6, that's a 5, and that's a 5 as well. There we go. Tricky puzzle there at the end, wow. Alright, let's go over to cross the streams next, which is over there on top of this rock. Not too far, so I'll just run over there real quick. Alright, I forget what the theme of these puzzles is. Stepping stones, it says. Alright, well, let's get started on the stepping stones then. Alright, connect all dark cells and all... connect all light cells or dark areas have region 1. Alright. I think I remember these. I think it's like a bunch of the same puzzle with a very slightly different rule. Alright. What's the next one? Is the next one with size 2? Yep, it's the exact same grid, except now all dark cells have region 2. Alright. I see what you're playing. Despite having basically the same rule, or same grid, these grids are going to end up looking totally different because of the different domino now required in here. Alright, that one still wasn't too bad. All dark areas have area 3. Okay, well. Let's start with our basics, I guess. This one's still pretty straightforward so far. We're gonna need to finish off these areas. If we put a dark cell here, we're gonna force a 2x2. So this one has to be like this. Has to come through here. Corner trick, and then this one has to go like that. Alright. All dark areas are size 4 now. Okay, now we're dealing with Tetris pieces. So as usual, we can't put a dark cell here. We're gonna close in a 1x1, so this kind of starting given is still the same at the moment. Now, though, need to consider things a lot more carefully. We put a dark cell here, we lock in this white cell, so separate that. We kind of want to also not really generate any extra dark cells because they're going to be hard to fit in with all of these already in here. So maybe we should look to see which places we already have a shape and which shape they're going to belong to. So these belong to one dark shape. So we have 1, 2. This is going to be 1. We probably want this to be 1. Well, this could be 1. Could this be 1 in its own corner without interfering with these? I don't think so. I think this needs to be like that. Otherwise, it's going to be way too much of a scrunch in here to get all of those together. So then this has to come out like this. This is going to go like that. And I think we can just fill in the rest like so. Little Tetris squares to let everything fit in. And oh gosh, the 1 star. Alright, what do we have in here? All dark areas have region 11. They don't even have a picture for showing you what a region 11 is. Okay. So we're probably gonna end up with 2 region 11s because we can't get both of these together. We cannot get both of these together in 11 pieces, both of these dark tiles, so we're gonna have 2 different region 11s. How many tiles here do we have in this puzzle? This puzzle is 8 by 7, so it's 56 tiles. I don't know, maybe there's gonna be 3 region 11s, come to think of it. But yeah, let's see if we can figure out what goes to what. So this connects to that, so we know this is at least a region 5 so far. if we go this way, so 5, 6, 7, 8, this would have to come out here, 9. Not really seeing a straightforward way how to make progress from this point. But we need to do something. I do see that this light cell has to come out this way, because we're not going to be going out this way, so it's going to have to come down this way. This light cell over here is probably... I'm just gonna foresight it on this one because I need somewhere to start on this one. It's probably gonna come up like this one. Yeah, okay. So what if we connect this 3 cell over here, this cell, these 3 cells to this one? That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We would need 2 more, but we can't do this one because it would block this one. We can't do either of these 2. So it'd need to be like this. That would be cell 11, or like this. So let's... No, it couldn't be like that. So that one has to be light. So it has to be like this. This should be correct. I'm gonna do another safety foresight just to double check that. Alright. Very nice. This has to be dark, otherwise we end up with a solo dark cell in here. Not to be confused with a dark soul. Alright, so it does look like we're going to end up with 3 different areas of size 11 here. So there's a 5 and a 3 here. They're going to have to connect, and once they connect, they're going to be 9. So this is going to have to do 2 additional tiles. So this is probably going to be... I mean, because the 2 additional tiles, I could do like this, and then that, and that would be done. But I have a feeling that's incorrect. Yep, that is incorrect. So, let's see. Just checking time over here. We know this has to connect to this, so the light cell is going to have to come out this way. And we know the light cell is going to have to come up through here. Let's just do something with the light cell. Okay, that's not big enough. Okay, I'm sorry. Jeez. Okay. There we go. I guess that does it. There probably could have solved that one by doing a whole lot more counting, but we got there. Alright. We have the same set of rules, which I'm immediately going to misclick and lose our perfect solve, but that's okay. New grid now, so that is a nice little change of pace. I was getting tired of looking at that last one. Alright, what's happening in here? This one on this side of the stream is not so straightforward as the other 1x1 was. Let's look at this. So if we put a dark here, this has to be light, dark, light. Don't see any issues with that. But if we put a dark here. This one has to be light, dark. So this one has to be light. Okay. Just had to spot that one up there, I guess, to get started on this one. So we could put a dark here. If we put a light here, we're gonna encase this entire area. Is that okay? If we encase this, then we need a dark here, light here, dark here. So we cannot do that. So this one has to be dark. I guess I was mistaken. Yep, sure was. Alright, same grid again, but now everything has area too. Alright, hopefully this one it doesn't take me as long to figure out. I'm looking at this tile to see if I want to put a dark cell here. No, because that makes this be an issue over there. Actually, I mean, there's a given move right here I should just probably do. Alright, so as far as this area goes, the only thing we need to be wary of is making a 2x2. So we're going to need a dark cell down here somewhere. To prevent a 2x2. So I think there's going to have to be a dark cell here. Spotting more given moves that I forgot about or had not seen. Feel like up here we can do something like this. Alright, cool. Kind of pulled that one out of my butt there, but it is what it is, I guess. Alright, so we finished that stream. Now we have one more stream. Different puzzle this time? Alright, different puzzle. This time with the 1x1s again. These puzzles here are definitely highlighting some kind of weakness in my personal puzzle solving abilities. And that one was pretty straightforward. Let's look at the 3 pepper one. It is by the domino rules now, so how are we getting out of there? So we need a dark cell in there. So it's going to be that one. Alright, that one wasn't too bad. And then we now have the final Across the Streams puzzle. 5 pipper, all dark areas have region 3. immediately mildly more stumped by this one. Alright, so either this one's gonna go like this, elbow macaroni, or a straight line. Connect all dark cells. Light cells. Potato, potato, maybe? Probably not. This one's light no matter what. Because either this is a 3 or the elbow macaroni finishes this one. But that alone doesn't really help all that much. Let's think of this in terms of preventing a 2x2. So we need to prevent a 2x2 here. So if we put a light cell here, we need to prevent the 2x2 here, and then this one would need... Okay, so this one has to be dark. Because that would otherwise trap the light cells in there. I think for up here, maybe we just want to do this. That's probably going to come back and bite me here in a moment. Yep, because, well, maybe that specific move was wrong, and the rest is okay. There we go. We're not going to talk about that one. I couldn't really figure out a solution for that one either. Let's just pick up this lore and move on. We're coming up to the wrapping up point, so let's take a break from the super hard puzzles, from the star puzzles, and then come to them next time. Let's finish up by doing In Matters of Size quest. That's another quest that's going to be over under one of these buildings. Any free puzzles we can grab while just flying over? A hidden ring, I'll take it. Sentinel stone, I'll take it. Never mind, it's not as straightforward as I thought it was. Alright, here we go. In Matters of Size. Just these 8 puzzles. So we have all dark areas have region 4. All dark areas need to be a Tetris block. Alright, more Tetris blocks. Let's go. Whoop. Good old misclick. Next up, I'm just going to do them in a circle here. I'm not going to figure out the difficulty order. All light areas have area 6. Alright. 5, 6 for you. 5, 6 for you. 5, 6 for you, and then 4, 5, 6 for it. Okay, no elbow macaronis. This is the no mac and cheese zone. Anytime we have a dark square, it's gonna have to be a straight line, basically. So this is gonna have to be like this, like that. We can't have a straight line there. This one will have to be like that. This one can't go left, it can't go right. It could go up, but I'm not sure how far up it goes. Same for this one. Alright, there we go. That's all of our dark cells complete, so just filling in with light should finish this. Alright, all dark is 5 and light is 5. This is a puzzle with pentominoes. Being able to quickly spot pentomino shapes definitely helps with these. Alright, so we have 12 tiles left here. We're going to need 2 pentominoes that complement the leftover shapes here. Let's see, if we do a light cell here, we would have to do dark, 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 so we'd have to do like an L piece. And yeah, I think that should work. If we do a dark and then that piece. I was mistaken, that did not work. Alright, all light areas have region 4, area 4, and dark is 2. So we can't put that in there. We'll start with that. Gonna have to block that off. I was just kind of drawing it in my head there. All dark areas are 4. Alright, and here's our last 4-pipper. I'm actually going to go ahead and give the outro and finish this puzzle. Thanks so much for watching. If you're enjoying the static puzzle series, please like and subscribe. You can see the next episode. I'm posting around every day, every other day, so hope to see you next time. we'll finish up Autumn Falls and be on our way. Take care. Here's the outro of me finishing this puzzle now. Well, I seem to have made a mistake at some point while filling this in. We're good up till here, right? Yeah, okay. I had misread the rules. I was looking for darker areas have a region 4 instead of 3, but yeah, let me just go ahead and finish this one up, and then I'll wrap up the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.